is for the sheriff of the county for the next 4 years. And both of these candidates ought to have an opportunity to say what they want to do, what they don't want to do, all that kind of thing, and they should, answer your questions. My name is Debbie Lowe, and I'm a writer with the Carroll County Comet. Probably most of you know that. I want to thank the Delphi Community School Corporation for letting us use the little theater. This is a wonderful venue for us. We've held many debates, and this is the best one ever, so we like that very much. I want to introduce the candidates. Tony Liggett. Yes. And you can tell we're very formal here, very formal. Yes, I'm wearing my Sauconys. Well, at the primary debate, my feet got really sore, and so I said I was wearing something nice. And then Tony is the first deputy at the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. And then we have Mark Pickard. Mark is a challenger, and he is with the Lafayette Police Department for a couple decades, I think. Yes, and he'll tell you all about that. Housekeeping. Candidates will have up to 5 minutes for an introduction. And I'm really not running much of the clock. I want you guys to be able to say what you need to say. And then we'll start with questions. I will begin the questions, but I want you all to feel free to come and ask questions. We have 2 microphones and mine, and you can ask. You can, just come and ask your questions if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want me to ask them, pass a note down. I just got a note just a few minutes ago. So the candidates will have up to 5 minutes for an intro. I'll ask questions. There will be rebuttals. I'll say, Tony, blah, 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 and Mark will have a chance to say what he thinks about that. And then we'll have up to 5 minutes for closing. We put aside 3 hours for this. I know, what was I thinking? But I want everybody to be able to fully express what they want, what they need, and let the candidates express as well. So that's why we did that. If we get it done early, that's fine, And we are videoing the debate, and it will be on my YouTube channel, which is cleverly named the Debbie Lowe channel on YouTube. And so, and I'll probably put that up tomorrow. So, with that, you want to come down, you guys? Do you all want to choose who goes first?
I went last time. Let's have you do this.
Okay.
Sure, that'll work.
Okay. Is that okay, Tony? Turn your microphones on, maybe.
It's good to see everybody here tonight. Thanks to the comment, Debbie Lowe, for doing this. My name, as she said, is Tony Liggett. I'm the Chief Deputy at the Sheriff's Department, but my primary title is actually detective. Due to staffing levels, I still primarily do investigations. I've been involved with law enforcement since 2001, and I moved to Delphi when I was 8 years old, so I've been here 42 years. I graduated from Delphi in 1990. My wife, Catherine, and I have lived in Cutler for the last 16 years. Catherine is a registered nurse at Franciscan Hospital. Together we have 1 daughter and 3 sons. I have a business management degree, and I owned a small business in Lafayette prior to getting into home. I consider myself a workhorse and lead by example. If something needs done, people come to me. I will continue that work ethic as sheriff. I am dedicated to my work and won't ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. As a small agency, I believe the sheriff should be a working sheriff, which means if there's calls or things that need to be done, the sheriff should go out and assist the deputies with doing that. I'm community service minded with strong morals and ethics. Integrity, professionalism, and accountability are the keys to making Carroll County Sheriff's Office a great place. As a sheriff and deputy, we take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and Indiana. This is an oath I take very seriously. I'm a firm believer in individual rights and property rights. As I said, I've been in law enforcement for 21 plus years. I started, all those years have been in Carroll County. I started my law enforcement career as a reserve deputy, as the guy that puts on the uniform and goes out and does this for free. That quickly turned into a full-time jail position, and then I was hired very quickly after that as a full-time officer in Florida in 2002. As a matter of fact, I think I replaced you in Florida. In 2004, I came back to the Sheriff's Department as a full-time deputy. I pride myself on continuing education and training. As a small agency, there's 13 of us, including the sheriff, and we need to keep highly trained officers here to be self-sufficient. Part of that self-sufficiency is doing in-house training. I'm one of only 2 Indiana Law Enforcement Academy certified instructors at the Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office has grown in a very positive way since 2001. One of the best things it is offered is training. I can't think of an instance where someone's asked to go to a training and they were told no. If they were told no, it was, there's a staffing issue, can you get in the next class? Many people take advantage of those opportunities to grow and have a positive influence on our agency. This has a big impact on the efficiency and the future of the Sheriff's Office. Some of the highlights in my career are, I'm an Academy certified instructor, and as far as I know, the only traffic crash reconstructionist that's ever been in Carroll County. I'm a part of the high-tech crimes unit, basically a forensic examiner of phones, laptops, things like that. I'm the training coordinator for the Sheriff's Office, the taser instructor, major crimes investigations, homicide investigations training, interview and interrogation, behavior analysis. I was a dual-purpose canine handler, a drug recognition expert, excelled at drug interdiction. I was a reserve program coordinator, attended leadership in Carroll County in 2013. Other duties that I have is I'm on the child protection team for Carroll County. I'm on the NDT team, which is a multidisciplinary team. It's a multifaceted approach to juvenile investigation. I'm on the Child Fatality Review Board, Carroll Fire Department, the Fraternal Order of Police, Delphi Lions Club, and a former member of the Delphi JCs when it was in existence. The Abby and Libby investigation has always been a top priority for me. It will continue to be when I'm sheriff. There are multiple investigators that work on this case every day, still to this day, including today. We all want to solve this horrible event. We need to make it a priority to retain the staff that we have. We're currently short 2 deputies. We are having a hiring process with that right now. We were short 3, and just this summer we hired one that replaced Kevin Hammond from October 2021. We normally we're full staff for the jail is 7 jail officers. We're kind of at a critical point. We just lost 3 of those. If we can't figure out how to pay people to stay, those people left for pay reasons. They went to farming. One of them went into farming to make more money. Another one went to Cass County to be an EMT for more money. And the other one switched over to dispatch on a partial money issue, but it was easier to deal with less people in the jail and not have to deal with it in dispatch. If we continue to lose jailers, the one of the primary duties of the sheriff's office is the jail. We will have to pull road officers off the road to work in the jail. We have to get that figured out. And even, as far as that goes, even when we do get these people hired, it's not immediate. They're not going to have any kind of immediate impact. There's a lot of training that goes into both road deputies and jail officers, so there's no immediate impact. We have great training opportunities working in Carroll County. Excuse me, I said that part already. One of the many ways to help keep everyone accountable is to have body cameras. I would really like to see us having body cameras. There are many instances where people make accusations towards an officer or vice versa, and it will remove the he said, she said from those accusations. You'll see it on video. Some of the biggest problems in Carroll County with crime stem from drugs and alcohol. I really would like to partner up with outside agencies such as Valley Oaks or NAMI and other places like that to get people, to help people that turn to drugs and alcohol for mental illness. It's just a fact of life, and those people with mental illness should not be viewed in a negative way. We currently have our jail contracts out are medical, and we have mental health people with that, but to me it seems like it's more of just a medication thing. People are in jail, let's medicate them, make their behavior fine while they're in jail, but it doesn't help get to the root cause of the problem. We have a community correction program in Carroll County, and I would like to kind of partner with them. I've talked to several people. They have a mental health aspect, and I would like to see about getting those people that they deal with in the jail so that, excuse me, my mouth's getting pretty dry. I would like to get those mental health professionals working with the people in the jail before they even get to the community corrections side of it. Other things I would like to do is get Carroll County involved with the drug task force. Information gained from the drug task force can more easily direct officers to problem areas where drugs are being used or sold. We currently have 2 dual-purpose canines, and they do a great job. However, due to staffing and officer safety issues, they don't get to be used as much as I would like. The new jail appears to be going to happen. Anything could happen. Things could change, but it seems to be on the right track to do the new jail. They just had a meeting the other day and set up a build committee. So things appear to be progressing with that. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Baker, and I'm your independent candidate for sheriff. To raise some concerns that have been brought about why I chose independent candidacy. I chose independent candidacy because I'm in the middle. I'm with everyone else in this county. We're neither far left or far right. I'm right in the middle where we all are. And whenever I chose to run like that, it afforded itself great possibilities for me. It afforded me the possibility to meet some great friends, have some great support, and have fun along the way. Tonight, it's fun along the way. This is just another day of fun. Thank you, Debbie, for having this.
I do my best.
Susan, for the comment, and also the staff here at the school for allowing us to be here. Let me tell you a little bit about myself for those that don't know me. I think everyone here probably does because I see about everyone that I do know. My family has been in this county rather, for over 90 years. My mother's family in 1929 and so, and she's in the crowd. Can't hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So, my mom's in the crowd. Her family has been in here since 1929. She graduated from this very school. My dad's family, a little bit later, but still, both working families, both were here in this community. My grandma and grandpa Buddis were farmers. My dad's family worked in industry and made a way for their family to stay here the rest of their lives. My mom, have you ever been on a plane in your life?
Yeah.
Once?
Once.
Okay. She's been in Carroll County her whole life. I have, except for vacations and training, laid my head in Carroll County every day of my life. I'm here for everyone in this room that's from Carroll County and beyond. Because I've lived here, I've also chosen to work in another agency that has afforded me great opportunities. When I became a police officer in 1994, I was also a reserve officer in Florida for a short time. Sorry. I really don't want to use the mic. Can anybody hear me without the mic? So, I also became a reserve officer and didn't get paid, but had a lot of fun. Larry Toll hired me as a full-time officer, and that's when my career began. I did that in Florida for 8 years, and then I went to the Lafayette Police Department in 2002, where I quickly moved up to the rank of detective in 2008, and that's where I've stayed. So in all, 28 years of law enforcement is what I have to offer. Of those 28 years, the last 20 have been at a very, very modern and busy department. Tony, do you know what your case numbers are up to today?
500 actual incident,
Okay.
somewhere in that area.
We have investigated over 12,000 cases at the Lafayette Police Department. Now, not every single one of those go to the detectives, but my fair share of them get there, as do a number of us. A little bit about me professionally. I'm a nationally accredited polygrapher. Been one since 2016. I'm also a certified lead homicide investigator. Several years ago, I was able to get to that class, and I did so because it was an important factor in investigating homicides to learn and to do them correctly and to have the manpower allocation that you need, when you need it, how you need it, and know how to do that. That's what I learned. I have been on just about every homicide we've had since 2008. And that's several. We've had 3 this year. 2 of them was a double, and mine was the double. And I was lead investigator on that. And I'm also a current field training officer, and we've had at least 100 recruits that I've trained, probably more. Our force is up to about 35 now, and our badge numbers don't recycle. So my original badge number in 2002 when I went was 328, and I believe we are up to right at 500 now. So my plans are to bring a new vision and a proactive police force to this county. It's much needed because if proactivity does not occur, the other agencies that surround us here are pushing the criminal element here. We need to take a hold of it and get in control of it. I know what it looks like when those criminal elements come to town. I don't want them here because I see what they do to our department. I see it because whenever I'm on call, and I'm on call very frequently, I'm on call for about 90,000 people. So for this to be stressful, this is fun. To be on call for 90,000 people, that's a little bit stressful. So, I want to get into the training a little bit. I can do this by knowing that there's at least 2 people that were on a scene here recently. Nobody knew at the time that the individual that was laying on the ground had a mother that lived in Carroll County. One person in this room I know assisted with CPR because she immediately determined that somebody was doing it wrong, so she stepped up and did it right. I also know Tony was there because he told me, Tony, when you were sitting there watching that, what did you think of the Lafayette police officers as they were there? Did they act professionally?
Yeah, when I got there, they were already there, appeared to be helping Cassie.
Okay.
CPR.
Yes, yes. What I'm getting at is you saw the Lafayette Police Department at work, correct?
Sure.
I trained those guys. Helped train, I was there with them. I also got called in, I think you had left before I got there. But I got called in to help work for that. But little did anyone know, that person laying on the ground was deceased, eventually called. But she has a mother that lives in Carroll County. I won't go into details about the case, but we have the person that's responsible for that, and he will be awaiting trial soon. As far as DTF, when I say the criminal element is coming to town, it is coming to town. It is here. Drug Task Force was disbanded several years ago. It's much needed. It's necessary. I have the resources and the people available to work with those people and make them a valid and valued member of our department here at the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. As far as the high-tech crimes unit, I'm also very in-depthly involved with those. And in fact, the Chief Forensic Investigator, I think is what his title is. And if I got that wrong, I apologize, Sean, if you watch this. But he and I are very close friends, and he helps me immensely with the cases that I work as well. And yes, Tony was correct. He did take my place in 2002. And did you work there 2 years? Okay. And then right to the Sheriff's Department. Then you left for a little bit. Oh, you did. Did you get laid off or something like that?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, laid off.
Yeah. Because we then hired a couple of the guys also that got laid off. And one of their backgrounds. But all in all, I've been in law enforcement for 28 years consecutively. When I turned 21, I'm 49 right now. This is all I have ever done. This is the passion that I have, and this is all that I ever will do until I can't do it anymore. I want you to understand that I'm an independent candidate. I don't have party backing, but I have people backing. That's what I have. And there are people on both sides of the fence, Democrat and Republican, backing me 100%. And I appreciate that, and that means so much to me. But I'm an independent candidate. I didn't have to choose a side, and I didn't choose a side. I did that for a reason. Because I think it's important that a sheriff doesn't have anybody to try to sway them in any way, shape, or form. Because I'm for the people, and I'm being supported by the people. When you vote, what you'll need to do is look for the independent candidate, which is me, and you can't choose which party that you claim. Go through that, and you don't, basically you can't vote straight ticket. So, I'm available for questions anytime, any place, and
I have some.
this is the place. So, I'll give it to Debbie right now, and we'll start this. Thank you very much.
Sorry. I want both of you to know that some of these questions come from the comment, many come from the community. I've been getting texts all day today, supposed to wait till last minute, and emails and things like that. So, Mark, what are your professional expectations of the deputies and the jail staff?
Accountability, professionalism, respect, not just of me, but of themselves and of the public. Transparency. I expect them to be professional in their career and everyone else. So, simple. Why they became police officers to serve the public, that's what I expect them to do. Nothing more than they're doing right now.
And so when you see that that's lacking, as sheriff, how would you address that? What would you do?
I would address it by having a conversation with them and dealing with them directly. It wouldn't be letting it fester until something happened. It would be taking control of it right immediately.
Is one of your expectations that deputies don't disobey the law?
Absolutely. As law enforcement officers, we are held to a higher standard. Whether one wants to know that, believe that, or feel that, that is what people expect of us, and that's exactly what they'll get under my leadership.
And Tony, what are your professional expectations of deputies?
Not much any different. My kind of my campaign logo is integrity, professionalism, and accountability. Everyone needs to be held at a higher standard. Do their job. Everybody go home safe. Nothing any different than what Mark said, and that's what the guys do now. And if there is something that was to get out of line, I'm the first person they don't want to kind of talk to.
Because?
I hold them to that standard, and I really think at this point, I could be wrong in saying it, but they don't want to disappoint me. Yeah, I don't think they want to disappoint me.
Tony, if elected, will the double homicide investigation change?
Change in what manner?
Any manner, I mean, ramp up, move, whatever.
There are people that work this, as I said before, that is a top priority case for not just me, it's for the entire sheriff's department, it's for the Indiana State Police, it's mostly for the families, the Williams family, the German family. They are what drives us every day, and things are very positive. I'll leave it at that. Things are very positive right now. Nothing would change. We bring people in. We have help. Things are going well.
Okay. Mark, if you're elected, there's a rumor that you're going to downsize or shut down the double homicide. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, well, that's fine.
I'm
That's
just
fine.
saying.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that's out there. Like I said before, the internet is a great place to share information when it's good information. However, no, that's absolutely false. Why would I do that? That's nonsense. It will ramp up. I will tell you that. I know Tony said that nothing will change. Something will change with me. I'm not going to get into it right now because I'm just not going to be the one to give false hope or anything like that to Miss Patty, who's here, that I see. I have also worked on that case. And from the very beginning, I wanted to be involved the day of. I didn't get there until day 4. Had a team that was ready to go. Was told to contact another agency to get the go-ahead. We finally did. When elected, I pledged to do everything that I can to make that better. Not that anything's wrong. I won't say that. I won't bash anyone because that's not me. Everyone knows me, and I'm not that person. But what I will say is it will ramp up.
Okay, thank you. Tony, how are you different from your opponent? I mean, what sets you apart from Mark? And of course, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Yeah.
I'll tell you a lot of what he said in the beginning. He's from the Lafayette Police Department. I wish we had their budget. I wish we had their manpower. I wish we had their toys. But when it all boils down to it, it's not necessarily what the sheriff of the county wants. It's about the people that hold the money of the county. The county council determines what money we're going to get. I wish we could do things at the scale that Lafayette does. We have 13, including the sheriff. When Mark goes to a scene, Mark has more than 13 people helping him investigate crimes. We rely on the Indiana State Police for the bigger investigations. You don't see a lot of Indiana State Police, for instance, if we needed their assistance tonight on a call, they're most likely not gonna come, and if they are, they're coming from Montgomery County or Warren County to respond to a call from you guys. That's the difference. I like Mark. Mark's a nice guy, but Mark doesn't know the small-time sheriff's department budget. We scrape by, and we do a very, very, very good job with what we're given. Each and every one of us give our all to all you people, everybody that's not here. We don't work here because it's the money. We work here because we love Carroll County. And that's the only difference. He gets a lot of things the easy way in Lafayette. They're in a concrete jungle. We're out here in rural Indiana doing things good.
Okay, Mark?
Wish no further. I have the resources that I have now, that training, that experience, at a moment's notice. Memorandum of understanding is available, and we can use them anytime we need. I've worked that out as I started to run, as currently as it is. They have no issue coming to help. Our drug task force is here in Carroll County quite a bit. Yeah, we do have a bigger budget. We should have a bigger budget. We have a lot more funds to deal with. But the training is easy. Those trainers are willing to come to Carroll County because they want to. A couple of those guys actually live in Carroll County, so pretty easy to get some training, free training, because any of those trainers want to make everyone better. Because when they're better, we're better.
Thanks. Tony, or what, you want to talk about it?
The training, we get the training. I don't want anybody in this room to think we don't get good training. There were classes that were supposed to be coming to Lafayette Police Department. They have their own training facility. I sent email after email trying to get a response from, I assume it's a training coordinator guy, and couldn't even get an email back. Sure, you have those contacts with them. We have good training, we get good training, and if we can't do it ourselves, we go find it.
Tony, going along with the budget things that you said, one person in the community emailed me and said there's been a lot of talk about deputies not having proper equipment, such as body cams, which may have helped them save from current lawsuits, you know. The current sheriff and chief deputy both have expensive trucks that are not necessary for their positions. This person wants to know, are you gonna continue that practice if you're elected? Or would you move the money around so that the deputies have proper equipment and not drive an expensive vehicle?
The deputies, what they need to help you comes first, not what the sheriff needs, not what a chief deputy needs. For the record, I had nothing to do with any of the vehicles that I drive. Those were all previously bought before I got here. But the priority goes with the guys that are out on the road, the boots on the ground. They're the guys that need the proper equipment, and that's the way it should be.
And I think this person wants to know, when it comes to budget time, you know, and maybe you're due for a new vehicle or something, are you gonna choose something pretty expensive like what is now there? Or would you downsize so that that money in the budget could be used for equipment?
Absolutely, absolutely. Whatever, it's not about the expense for the sheriff or the chief deputy in the sense of they shouldn't have the expensive things. It should be what is needed for the road guys. So yes,
Okay.
we would need to rearrange things. I don't even like the truck.
Okay. So I'm hearing, and I'm gonna ask you so that you can say it directly, and Mark, you start. What are your thoughts about the use of body cams, dash cams, GPS locators on police vehicles, and the the use of security cameras inside police vehicles. I won't allow it now.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's start with body cameras. It's a necessity. It's I wish I had that, I want that, I need that. It is a necessity. In this day and age of policing, body cameras are a necessity. That's just it. You mentioned current litigation. You obviously can't get into that current litigation. However, with a body cam or with body cams, may not even be a litigation. Does that make sense? So,
Dash cams?
dash cams are necessary too. They also capture things that the deputy or the officer may not see en route to a crime. I don't know how many times we've pulled dash cams of officers and such going to calls. We see maybe our fleeing vehicle leaving the scene. They didn't know it was a fleeing vehicle at the time. So, all of which, very, very important.
So how about GPS locators on police vehicles for accountability?
That's an extremely important part of the technology that I wish to bring. With that being said, there's, I guess, dispatching programs that will dispatch the most, I guess, the closest unit to get their response time down to help the citizens. And I think it's very necessary to make sure that we get to our people when they need our help.
And lastly, security cameras inside police vehicles. How are you with that?
I'm very good with that, because a lot of times there are people in the back seat, I guess not necessarily suspects, but people that are heading to jail. It's very important to be able to monitor them and have a recording of what they say, what they do, and such.
Tony, same question. You want me to repeat the list? Body cams?
Body cams, absolutely.
Mhm.
Hands down, without question. All of them, everything that you mentioned, everything that she
Dash
mentioned.
cams? I
All of
mean,
it.
you don't have those now, do you?
We used to, but once they went kaput, they've never been replaced.
Are you in favor of GPS locators?
Yes, we have that capability. We have that capability with the laptops that we have. Won't they crash? We can't use them.
And security cameras inside police vehicles?
Absolutely, kind of like what he said. You can get somebody in your car and set them in the back seat. There's no expectation of privacy. If they start talking about a crime they just committed, you can use that. So, absolutely.
Okay, in the past, Tony, let's go to you first. In the past 2 or so years, formal complaints have been lodged in court alleging excessive force by deputies. As sheriff, how would you handle that?
Most of the lawsuits these days, this is a defund the police time. There are a lot of frivolous lawsuits. And Lafayette probably gets a lot of frivolous lawsuits themselves. So, either way, the body cameras would solve that no matter what. But you kind of have to rely on the he said, she said. You hope that your guys have done what they're supposed to do, they've done their job and reported the correct way. You investigate those things to the full extent that you can. And then it plays out in court.
And
You
then-
really can't comment about.
What would you do as sheriff if you found out that, yeah, some of that had gone on?
There would be trouble.
Trouble?
People cannot,
Would there be discipline?
absolutely.
Is that what you mean?
Absolutely. If guys do things wrong, they have to know that there's an expectation to do it right all the time. And they do, but if you mess up, there's consequences.
And Mark, same question. As sheriff, how would you handle that with your deputies? If you found that, yes, there was excessive force, or, there was something filed and that kind of thing.
Excessive force, again, is uncalled for. It's unnecessary. And as far as frivolous excessive force, a body cam will exonerate those that need exonerated and will prove what needs proved for the person that, if they were, I guess, not force used on them properly. So, there are times that you have to use force on people, if they are trying to hurt you, or hurt someone else, or hurt the public. But there's times that it is not. And body cams, which, I'm not sure why Carroll County still does not have them. And as far as the technology, is out there, we need that here in this community. And again, that's something that I want to bring, is technology to this area, because it's needed. And I know that it has been said that the laptops crash. We need new laptops. I know all this takes money. Recently, there was a reappropriation for a truck from Delphi Police Department. Several $1,000s. I think that would have probably bought some body cameras, because I know that you had mentioned at one point storage was an issue. You're at 500 cases. We're at 12,000. We have the storage. It's available and it can be purchased, but there's not that much that needs to be documented here on a day-to-day basis, because there's only 3 or 4 calls. So, in my opinion only, we can have some body cameras in this community.
Did you say we only have 3 or 4 calls? Is that what you just said?
About a shift, sometimes none.
We have, just because we've pulled 500 cases, that's not a call volume. We've pulled 500-ish case reports for the year. There are more calls than 3 or 4 for 2 guys that are on duty. So I don't want anybody, including Mark, that doesn't understand the calls in Carroll County. We have more than 3 or 4 calls. We've just pulled roughly 500 incident reports, way more calls.
Tony, how would any community member know that? How would any community member know that number?
Under the current sheriff, I don't know. They could call and ask you. That's part of the transparency part of it, I suppose. So,
yeah.
But they can call and find out. We'll happily tell them the number of calls. But there's nowhere that we post, we had 20 calls today or anything like that, no.
Okay,
But I don't think you see that anywhere.
I don't know. I know we don't see it here,
I mean, when I say you won't see that, you don't see that posted. You don't see, I've never seen Lafayette say they've had 200 calls or what have you. There's nowhere that I know of that posts just their general number of calls.
Mm-hmm.
There may be access to it a lot easier than what we have, but you just don't see that. You have to go looking.
Okay.
Debbie, can I respond to that?
Oh, sure.
Anybody can call in and see how many incidences we've had. We're probably right now with incidents. I mean, I say 12,000 for a case number. Incidents is probably 200,000.
But again, just same thing I said. You have to call in. It's not. Your question was, where can people go to find that? If you call in, sure.
Being from the newspaper, I just don't know. We would print that if that number was given to us, and it never has been. And so I just think it would be interesting for people to hear that. Tony, and this is from the community, some of these others are, but we have lost 2 of the detectives working on the double homicide with only you remaining. I don't know that that's a true statement, that only you are remaining. But how will the void be filled if you're elected?
Are they saying we've lost 2 detectives? Carroll County
Carroll County,
detectives.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're elected, it's the assumption that you will lead that investigation as well on the level that you're at right now.
Correct. I will still remain involved with that,
Yeah.
but the general core of this investigation group would stay, and we would just incorporate one of our guys into that and get them up to speed. And actually, that's not always a bad thing. Someone coming in that always has that opportunity to see something that maybe there wasn't seen in the beginning to start with.
Mm-hmm.